My Oma always said, we are all made of stars. Our bodies hold the stars are us. I never understood what she meant. Sven was the first archaeologist I ever met. He would teach me the importance of understanding the past.
Hey you, what are you doing digging around in the rubbish? That is my Oma's land.
Not by reading in books, but by looking at what people had left behind. He showed me how to integrate my past with the present and into the future.
Oma said the old people made these paintings.
She should know because the people who made these paintings were most probably related to her and to you. Our research shows that these were made by Kwekwe, or in the old language Khoi, herders people.
Sven also told me the old people believed that when someone really important died, like a powerful medicine wheel, they were turned into a shooting star and the star would fly across the heavens and fall into a pool of water. This connected the cosmos above with the spirit world below. That day, I drew my first timeline.
Môre ma.
En nou, wat doen jy nou?
Ek het besluit om 'n rekord na te laat van alles wat ek weet, wie ek is en hoe alles werk.
En om dit te doen moet jy op die mure skryf.
Dis net correct, ma.
Jy moet nie laat terugkom nie.
Ja, ma.
I was beginning to realize nothing stood still, not here on Earth or in the skies.
Sorry, sir. Can you tell me, why are the stars moving?
Wow, did you do that yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Enrico was an
Now,
astronomer,
the Earth
and
actually
he
goes
explained
around
how
the
the rotation of the Earth
here.
makes the stars spin
And at the same
when viewed
time, it's
from
also
Earth.
rotating around its own axis. So that bright spot over there, that's actually Jupiter. It's the largest planet in our solar system. And when you have a look through the telescope now, you can see its 4 brightest moons. It's got about 60 moons or so.
The stars. To understand where I was in space, I had to build a model of where the Earth stood in the solar system so I could see where we were in relation to the other planets and stars. It still amazes me, these huge lumps of rock and gas spinning around in these patterns that keep repeating themselves. Why does this happen and how did it come about?
Mama moet sien hoe mooi groot die maan is.
The shape of the moon depends on its position relative to the Earth and the Sun. When the Earth is right between the moon and the Sun, like this, in this position you'll see full moon, and in this position you'll see half moon.
I then realized that art, astronomy and archaeology are all ways of examining who we are, of how we try to make sense of our lives, here on Earth and in space. Marcus and Bronwyn are two artists I knew. Luckily they were around, because making your first artwork is never easy.
Is that what you're looking for?
That's it. So, can you show me a few of those images?
Yeah, sure. So here's a picture of a globular cluster, and it's basically something that contains on the order of 10,000 to 100,000 stars. What I want to do is I want to see if we can't recreate the Big Bang with all of these.
Of course I'd heard of the Big Bang.
Imagine them all being
Before our universe formed, there was a singularity which was infinitely small and infinitely dense.
So I'm going to climb to the top and I'm going to take a photograph from the top of all of us being together and then expanding out with them. And then as we get far enough from each other, to start spinning them around. Just do it for me now. Yeah, and we're going to walk backwards slowly, and then walk around each other. Move around each other quite quickly. Move quickly, but just wiggle. Okay, and get further apart. And I want you to move around each other.
Then, something triggered a rapid expansion, creating matter and throwing galaxies out into an ever-expanding and mysterious universe.
Wow!
The expanding universe in one picture, huh?
A universe of incredible complexity and beauty. My mind had been opened to new ways of thinking about who I was, who all humans are in relation to a much older story, one that goes back to the beginning of all things. Nadim, an astrophysicist on the Square Kilometer Array, was so cool. I decided then that astronomy was what I was going to do.
Radio astronomy is basically studying the universe at radio frequencies. So these telescopes that you see around you, they are detectors which are sensitive to radio waves. So the whole universe that you know is just 5%. So there's 95% that we don't know. And that's why we're building the SKA to try to answer some of these questions.
So SKA will open our minds to new ways of thinking, new ways of imagining. My Oma was right. How could she know that all matter in the universe is made up of the same basic elements? Even I am made up of molecules generated by dying stars. I am stardust.
Come in. Now that's the Milky Way. This is a timeline.
Did you do all of this?
Yep.
I knew Oma was smiling down on me. I could hear her laughing, telling me it was important to know where I came from before I could know where I was going. I owe many thanks to her. She had taught me to ask why. I knew then that I have a place in the universe.